morning, ladies and gentlemen. First up, it's been a week since we've scooped. So, how is the audio? Can someone tell me if my microphone is shitting itself or not? Can someone tell me if my microphone is... No, I can just check myself. It's good. We are good. Nice. How is everyone doing this morning? Welcome in. It's Monday morning. It's 10 a.m.-ish. It's 10:39, so that's not too bad for us, especially after a week off. How are we all doing? Are we all good? Are we all good? You all good, babe?
I'm good.
Nice. For those of you who don't know, my name is Graham Day, and this is the Italian Batman. This is the man that we call Bib, a.k.a. we've got Babino, a.k.a. Michael Meehan, a.k.a. the big man dog thing that I'd not prepped for.
Rocky Balbibba.
Hey!
You like that, don't you? You like that?
But he's been practicing that over the weekend. You could tell. Straight in there. Anyway, welcome in. As mentioned, my name's Graham. This is the Rocky Balbibba. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true Ice Creamy fashion, this is the Scoop, your daily dose of news from the world of video games and beyond. We're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games, because this is the UK's #1 video games podcast, even if we do say so ourselves. Anyway, as mentioned, we're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on those stories, and we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. And if you're in the chat right here, right now, live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads at 10 a.m.-ish, like we are each and every single weekday, please feel free to get involved, because we do turn this into a podcast, a video that goes out on YouTube. Shout out to anyone that's watching on YouTube. We've had shitloads of views this past few weeks, and comments as well. So if you are watching on YouTube, do drop comments down below, because we do respond to all of them. So yes, we're turning this into a YouTube video and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. So if you were in the chat, use your voice on behalf of everyone watching and listening on demand. Hey, speaking of being in the chat, Lithram EU, have you heard of that one, babe?
No, I don't know who that is.
Strange. In the chat anyway. Good morning, Lithram. Hey.
Shouldn't you be in school anyway, you little scrub?
That's Baby's brother, by the way, if anyone doesn't know. Steel Bonsai, welcome back, dude. Drop an alert, pal, as I'm just off out. Hopefully I'll be back to catch some of the action before your stream ends. Cheers, dude. Thank you very much for dropping the alert. Anyone that has the ability to do that as well, by the way, we would very, very much appreciate it. Even if you can't watch and you've just got a PC screen or a console or a laptop or whatever, and you can just go, do you know what, I'm going to stick Ice Cream Uploads on. Even if I'm not watching, the lurks do help the channel. More views, more exposure, more growth. Jobs are good. So I appreciate the lurk. Thank you very much. Also, exclamation mark lurk using the command Steel Bonsai takes a seat at the back of the ice cream van. That's what we'd like to see. Tito, good morning, dude. Mr. Clarkson as well as this Lithram person again.
Good morning.
I'll read. How is everyone doing? Big chunk of time since we've been back on. It's been a week. Bib's had some time off. Have you done anything constructive, or have you absolutely used it how it should have been and done sod all?
Bit of both, really. I watched Samantha decorate the bedroom. She's done a cracking job. If there's one thing that I am absolutely terrible in this world, it is decorating. I would much rather pay someone to do it, because if I do it, it'll take me 2 days and it will look shit. Get someone in who's a specialist, they could do it in half the time and it'll look great. However, Samantha did it and it looks fucking amazing. So she was decorating, and we went on a few walks last week because you can't do anything else. I would have loved to have been able to play golf, but you couldn't. So I spent Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday watching the Masters. It was a good week off. It's probably what I needed, to be fair, just having a mooch around. I mean, have you been to Evero or Dovestones before, Graham?
They could be types of towel, for all I know. So no, I've never even heard of them.
yeah, they're good play. They are nice walks. And the in Evero, there's a new bit. That Samantha said I'd never been before, so she took me. That you go into like the woods, and that's when I posted them pictures on social media of like Blair Witch shit. Yeah. But when you go up there, it's just because it'd been pissing it down. It was just all sodden. My trainers just got absolutely soddened. But yeah, it was really good walks. If you do live in Manchester, there are two places that you definitely need to go if you just want to get up and go out.
You're just about to hit 30 though, so. Your days of walking in trainers is gone. You now have to buy some walking boots. It's non-negotiable.
No, never happening.
Mine are in the back of the car in a box just in case an impromptu walk happens.
I've seen people have like hiking sticks on level ground, like especially in Dovestones. There's no like elevated places for you to be able to walk through, and they had like walking sticks. I was
Yeah.
like,
I mean, they
steady
probably
incline up there.
there probably is a reason for it, but I just think that's just something that I've got to carry. Fuck that.
Yeah. It's like I had a backpack with like a little packed lunch kind of thing in, and even that was bugging me. But yeah, just something else to carry.
Hardcore. Lake says sup. Madge, welcome in. In terms of my week last
Oh,
week,
Lake.
well, I did a good job of looking after things. So much so that entirely single-handedly and nothing to do with the content that we put out 5 days a week, every single week for the last couple of years here on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. But we hit 2,000 followers last week on Twitch, although someone has unfollowed. Fuckers! So we're below it right now. But it's fine, we did hit 2,000 followers. So let me just type this in the chat for you. I don't know if I've got a chat bot open. I'm just going to gamble and... boom! Yes, there we go. So, as it mentions there, we're on the road to 2K followers. Well, technically, we are again right now. But once we do hit 2K, we'll do a milestone giveaway. I can confirm that we hit 2,000 followers just as I went offline on Friday in the PUBG stream. So, we will do the 2K giveaway, and that will start today. So, keep your eyes on our social media. As mentioned on Friday, I can confirm that the lovely people at 2K UK, big shout out to us in Peppiatt, have hooked us up with a few 2K games for the 2K giveaway. So there is PGA 2K, WWE 2K Battlegrounds. So we've got 2K giveaway with 2K21 PGA, 2K Battlegrounds, and 2K Mafia. There's no 2K in that, but you get the idea. As well as that, Muscle Moose, the lovely people at Muscle Moose. You can see this. Oh, you can't see it because the fan's in the way, but the Muscle Moose selection box that's hidden behind the fan. We have another one of those to put in as well. So there'll be 3 games and a bunch of snacks and supplies in there to keep you energized as you play through those games. We are going to give those away on social media, and the giveaway will be starting a little bit later on today. So keep your eyes out on that. So that was nice. And the other thing to mention as well is that if you're a subscriber, feel free to be in our Discord, and if you are, feel free to link your Twitch and your Discord accounts up, because if you do that, you have a chance of winning a prize. We do the loot drop each and every single month, !loot drop in the chat, and this month's prize is !Cyberpunk in the chat. We are giving away a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 this month. It'll be Monday the 7th of December. We will give that away to 1 subscriber. The only way you can get in that giveaway is to be a sub and be in the Discord with your accounts links. If you don't do all of that, it doesn't happen. So make sure you do it. Nice. David says, "Who stole your mini fridge?" A little bit of a room reshuffle. So I now have a big blank space there because I'm going to put some artwork and stuff there. But my mini fridge is now accessible. You can't see it anymore, but there it is. Yeah, I can actually get to stuff whilst I'm on stream. It's inside the green screen as well. So if I ever need drinks whilst we're Masters of the League in, I can just pop down.
Yeah.
Not that Masters of the League is green screen or anything. It's an actual real life football club that me and Billy are employed by, whatever. Speaking of Masters of the League, that is back this week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3 episodes. The first one will follow the scoop today. One final thing to say before we do jump into the news, though, and that is happy birthday to Fatman Dave 8472. It's David's birthday today, so happy birthday, David. Hey.
Happy birthday, geezer.
Magic Man says, all that bug snacks. Yeah. That's like an umbrella. I'd rather get fucking soaked than carry an umbrella. Exactly. Although, to be fair, I am slightly changed in my opinion on that because I have an umbrella that is a lightsaber as well. So you press a button and it goes. So I don't mind carrying an umbrella now because, geek needs. But anyway, let's jump in to today's news. We have a few stories for you to run through for you today. So let's get in. The first one, unsurprisingly, is linked to next gen consoles. You may have seen headlines on this over the last few days, but we've not been around. But neither is Chrome because it shits its pants every day now. Okay, fuck. Okay, let me change this. Can you have a guess as to what the news will be about?
Yes, I can. It involves something like an Xbox.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong Chrome. I'm looking at Lake's Twitch. Speaking of Lake, I did see Lake in the chat. He said, "Sup, Lake, I saw you tweet saying that you were going to go live to play some Pez, so I jumped in, but you weren't online. So I don't know whether I misread it and that's not today, or whether you cancelled it or whatever."
It is today. His quote tweeted saying that he will be watching Ice Cream Uploads on the Scoop and then stream after that. What a fucking guy!
Hey,
legend.
There you go. That's what this is. So if I jump back to my other Chrome window, there you go. Lake791 Twitch. There you go. I'm sat watching you, but you weren't there. So no, there we go. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's jump in. So the Xbox Series X and S was Microsoft's biggest console launch in the UK. Day one sales surpassed Xbox One's 150,000 VGC understands, with Series S making up a third. This is written by Andy Robinson at VGC. Let's jump into the main article then. Xbox Series X and S is now Microsoft's biggest console launch in the UK, VGC understands. According to publishers speaking to VGC, Xbox Series X and S sold around 155,000 consoles on launch day, beating the previous record of 150,000, which Xbox One managed in its first 2 days on sale in 2013. The UK is Xbox's second biggest market outside of the US. However, Series X and S was still far short of beating the record set by PlayStation 4. Sony's previous full hardware launch was the biggest in UK history, managing around 250,000 over its first 48 hours. Before that, the PSP, or PlayStation Portable, sold 185,000, held the record for the region's fastest-selling games hardware. Oh, that's heartbreaking. PSP, fastest-selling hardware. Not really supported anything since. I mean, it'd be nice to see that support for the Vita. Anyway, fuck it, I'm whinging about the fact I've got a Vita and I can't get to use it. But we'll move on, it's fine. Of course, both Series X and S sold out at launch and would likely have sold better with more stock. Currently, both Xbox Series X and S are sold out at all major retailers. Microsoft will likely shift any additional consoles it can supply during the launch window, especially considering Series X and S UK pre-orders are understood to have been significantly higher than previous Xbox consoles, limiting the number of units available to day one buyers. Supply issues are expected to continue for the Series X and PS5 this year due to the impact of COVID-19 on shipping times. The most popular series model at launch in the UK was the Xbox Series X, which accounted for 2/3 of launch sales according to VGC sources. Microsoft said earlier this week that globally, data showed that most existing Xbox users opted for the more expensive model, while Series S attracted a record percentage of new players to the platform. Globally, Microsoft has claimed that Xbox Series X and S launch sales were the highest in its history. Wow, I'm actually word-souping this to death. But anyway, no hardware sales figures have been provided by the company, which is its policy, because they sell less than PlayStation, just if you didn't know that. Anyway, but it's the last full console launch for Xbox One. Its last full console launch for Xbox One in 2013 was also described as a company record at the time, with more than 1 million consoles sold in 24 hours. On Friday, Xbox's experiences and platforms boss Liz Harman acknowledged the shortage of Xbox Series X and S console stock at launch and encouraged those struggling to find one to continue checking retails. My God, okay, that's just tangent articles. But long story short, the Xbox Series X and S was Microsoft's biggest console launch in the UK. Could have been bigger if there was more stock. Bib, thoughts?
Yeah. Well, that was essentially what I was going to ask you. Do you think that he would have shattered all their? Well, it's already broken their records, but in terms of shattering, do you reckon that it would have been maybe 200,000 plus if they had them around and that everyone could have got their hands on them?
I think that's definitely possible. Yeah. Sorry, I've just put you back on the shelf because I told you I was about to get rid of the scene and I realised I could reposition you. So, Bibby, that's not the show. If you haven't seen this, this was something when Bibby was in the studio. But there we go. I definitely think they could have sold more. The fact that they've gone up by 5,000, part of me thinks that's incredibly close to the number that they've had before. I wonder if they've just pushed enough so they can get 155,000 units in the UK, just so that they can surpass what they've had previously. Because that's just incredibly close. If you've got 150,000, what's the next nice round figure up from that? If you're doing it in multiples of 5, which usually is like 150, 155, 160, 165, 170, let's just make 5k more available. Let's push production so we can get 5,000 more in the UK, just so that we can take off a milestone. So that seems like it's meant to be for me. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's enough, but yeah, if COVID-19 hadn't been in the way, it probably could have sold more. That said, if COVID-19 hadn't been in the way, would there have been as much demand? Because it's one of those kind of like gilt-edged swords. They can't make any because there's not enough availability because of COVID-19. But because of COVID-19, people can't get out and do as much. So there's more demand for consoles. So, yeah, tricky.
One thing that I did notice in there as well is towards the bottom, they mentioned about Let me try to find it again. While Xbox Series S attracted a record percentage of new players to the platform,
Hmm.
how do they work that out? Do they fill out a survey while they're buying it? Like I clicked onto the article, and it's really weird actually because they don't want to talk about figures, but they're talking about figures. Like they won't release them, but we're releasing them, because it was a record shattering for them anyway. Amount of consoles that have been bought, but it says it was favored by new players. How do they know that? Because it could have just been people like for me, for instance, I've had Xboxes in the past, but if I was to go to buy one, I'd probably buy an S. Not money aside, it probably would work out better for me because I don't have an extensive Xbox One collection, so the backwards compatibility thing doesn't really interest me. Playing on Games Pass would have, but I wouldn't be classed as a new player. So how do they deem a new player?
I'm assuming it's new account setups. So what was it? There was news a few months back in terms of like the account process when you're setting up Xbox to give you like the free games and so on, and your account or the games are tied to the consoles. So I'm assuming it's a case of that the comparison was that loads of existing gamers have bought the X, and all the people that are new into the ecosystem have bought the S. I imagine it's a case of when they were in that initial setup process and they've got their free games that come with their consoles or whatever, they've redeemed it and linked it to that account. That is where they get the stats from, I imagine. Because I mean that makes sense. It does make sense in terms of the console split as well. In terms of if you know that the Xbox is where you are going to play your games, then getting the X makes sense. If you're going to put all of your time and effort into this system, then the X does make sense. If you're an existing player and you think, okay, I've had 7 years or 20 years with Xbox already, I know I want to continue playing, so I'm going to get the best one there is. Fine. If you're maybe new with consoles, or maybe you're a PlayStation user that wants to cover the other side as well, then the S does give you a nice, easy and cheap opt-in to the next generation. So it doesn't surprise me that the S is the newbie Xbox player console. I mean, I'm not new to Xbox, but I have a One S, and if I got an Xbox, I might get the Series S. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the way it looks, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I might get that because I don't think I need an X, but I'd like to have the ability to play the Xbox games and so on. So that's probably where it comes to me. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me that much. Jumping into the chat, Lake says, actually the stream went down first because I tried to get a Cold War code first from Xbox Finland, but it was too late. But then I thought, I want to watch this now. Well, we appreciate you readjusting the schedule. I mean, I'm absolutely disappointed because I'm sat there waiting for you to go, oh god. I'm joking. Be interesting to see, without COVID situation, how many more consoles they could have shifted, says Mr. T. Probably not the 250k PS4 record, but might have got close. Either way, that's a good start. Just in the UK, hopefully get some US global numbers soon. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it's one of those numbers that we will never know. Is the bit I've just mentioned previously in terms of how far would they have got, because we've had huge demand, and this is pre-COVID. Video games have grown exponentially. Go back 2 years ago when you've got Drake playing video games with Ninja, and we're all like, yeah, okay, video games have been around for forever. We've been playing video games, and there are celebrities that play video games. We all know all of them, whatever. Drake playing with Ninja is nothing new. But for a lot of people that aren't video game people, that was something new, and that was something big, and video games have moved on hugely since then, to the point where Sergio Aguero kicks a ball digitally on Twitch probably more often than he kicks one in real life, and he kicks them pretty often in real life. So video games are hugely mainstream now. So they were getting bigger. There was a huge demand. We've been clamoring for the next gen for 2 to 3 years before COVID came along. So yes, there was probably potential for a huge uptick in video game sales. However, we have seen that COVID has had a huge impact on digital sales, on console sales, and so on. So yeah, it's the vicious circle, or the double-edged sword, so to speak, in terms of COVID takes away but adds to the sales, but without it, would it have been more? I don't know. So yeah, difficult. To my understanding, Sony has told shops not to sell the PS5 on shops on launch as a physical happening. In terms of, do you mean, are you talking in terms of you're not allowed to go into shops? If you're talking the UK, you can't go into a shop to buy a PS5 for most electrical retailers. So non-essential retailers is the phrase that we have in the UK. Is that what you mean? Because in game you can't go into game and buy PS5. You can order one online, pre-order and go and collect it, curbside service kind of thing, click and collect, but you can't purchase in store, if that's what you mean. Mad says people that didn't have an Xbox account before, maybe. Yeah, exactly. Also, OP3.
Hey.
OP3. Mr. Precision TV is in the chat. Good morning. I went something like this. Sony said to shops that they could cut off the partnership with the shop. If a certain shop starts a sale for the launch day where people come in and the shop does not care about COVID regulations and puts its customers to harm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure Sony would put it on themselves. I mean, in that sort of sense, I think Sony would be very, very much happy to support COVID-safe regulations, but I'm not sure they'd be threatening to cut off their supply lines, because that's essentially taking the law into their hands. It's not really for them to police. I mean, I get the concept behind it, but it just seems bizarre. Sony threatening to cut off their retailers for laws that Sony doesn't uphold. Just seems a little bit odd. And a bold statement. I think without COVID impacting the supply, I think both console launches would have smashed their previous records. I mean, PS5 still might, but let's see. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a weird balance. I think you're right. I mean, obviously with the fact that we've seen the Xbox for the first time at the Game Awards last year, and that was after about a year and a half, 2 years of when's it going to be? Is it going to be at E3? Is it going to be now? Is it going to be this? So there's definitely a huge amount of hype to it, and I definitely think every year going forward we will see more and more sales at launch. It's just kind of the world we're growing in. Everything builds with anticipation and excitement. But yeah, I think it's a weird case study that maybe someone could pull together over like economics, maybe not just from video games, but from other industries as well. Like in 5 years' time, to see how big of an impact that COVID had, or whether it actually didn't, whether it was just a case of actually the sales remained the same, but they were just bought in a much more concentrated area of time in that sort of sense. So COVID might not actually lead to more sales, it might just lead to more sales right now because we need them, kind of thing. But yeah. Precision says, I stayed up till 4:30 with Fish, Lewis and Rob playing Cold War, and now I feel deed because I have to be up before 8:30 for medication. Never again. There's always tonight. Hey, are you enjoying it? Is it a step away, a step ahead from Modern Warfare and Warzone, or similar? Is there much gameplay change? What we're saying? There is no way Sony said that to retailers. They would never do that. Exactly, and that's my thoughts. Is why if Sony start holding their retailers to ransom, then it's an unnecessary authority that they're trying to impose on a retailer that Sony needs just as much as the retailers need. If anything, the retailers don't necessarily need Sony as much. Our office, where the ice cream studio is, obviously we're not going to be in for the best part of another month now, but our office, there is an indie games retailer nearby. And if Sony tried to hold them to ransom, they would probably just tell them to get to feck, because I think, what was it? It was either 1 or 3 consoles they were given. The whole store, their whole stock allocation was either 1 or 3 consoles. It was stupidly low. I can't remember if it was just 1 console or 3 consoles. But your entire PS5 allocation, let's give them the bigger number, is 3. All your customer base, and you can have 3 consoles to sell. That is ridiculous. So if they then say, actually, as well as those 3 consoles, we can tell you what you can and can't sell and where and when, and what your safety, your health and safety regulations need to be, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Lakes asked the same question. How much has the Cold War changed as COD game? Gagad says, good morning, gents. I'll read. Welcome back. It's pretty much the same old COD from the team. Expected, but it is what it is. It's not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, Xbox Series X and S combined together was Microsoft's biggest console launch in the UK. Unsurprising because video games make the world go round. So things are looking good. Speaking about looking good, and next-gen consoles. What's that? Who's looking Bibby, who's looking better? The Xbox Series S and X with 2 different versions, one black and one white, or the PS5, which has just one version with just one colour, which one colour can't be changed unless there was a website, like a PlayStation5.com or something that could do. Actually, do you know what? On that note, let's have a look at the next news. So the custom PS5 faceplate, PlaySpace.
You got far too giddy then going into that news story.
Let's stop, rewind, and start again. This is written by Andy Robinson at VGC, and it says custom PS5 faceplate. There we go. Firm will return via crowdfunding. Funding. So Customize My Plates commits to GoFundMe, but legal threat doesn't seem to be resolved. So a peripheral company forced to stop selling custom PS5 faceplates has committed to resurrecting the product via crowdfunding. Last month, CustomizeMyPlates.com was forced to change its original name of PlayStation 5 and eventually pull its entire range of custom PS5 faceplates following a threat of legal action from Sony. The UK-based firm shifted its focus to custom console skins and said it would be wiser on trademark and patent laws going forward. However, Customize My Plates is now looking to crowdfunding platform GoFundMe to bring back the custom PS5 faceplates. The firm recently polled followers on Twitter if they'd be interested in a potential crowdfunding model for the faceplates, and on Saturday it confirmed to VGC it had decided to move forward with the scheme. Full details would be announced on its social channel soon, it said. However, the company did not say if it had resolved legal issues with PlayStation. On Twitter, it suggested it could create a petition lobbying Sony to authorise us to make the plates, and a spokesperson confirmed to VGC that this would be part of its plans. What are you giggling at?
That sentence there. Don't matter. Carry on.
One person at a major third-party peripheral company told VGC that crowdfunding could help negate Sony's threat of legal action, and they believed it eventually would not be able to stop custom faceplates going on sale. My guess is that Sony won't be able to control this in the long run, the person said anonymously. There will be tons of companies making these faceplates, and Sony will be powerless to stop them. If we look at something like a controller, Sony can reasonably battle unofficial third parties by updating the console firmware and blocking such knockoffs, but a faceplate, there's not much they can do in the long run. Sony can't stop them making bits of plastic that can just happen to fit to their system. Before Sony's action, Customize My Plates have been taking orders for the unofficial PS5 shells in a variety of colours for $39.99 or £32, and said it hoped to ship them to customers within 2 weeks of the console's launch date. We'll leave it there because the rest you can get where the article is going. So CustomizeMyPlates.com or PlayStation 5 potentially continuing with the plan of releasing custom PS5 faceplates. My God, there's another one. We've got Xbox Box and Place Fates or Face, whatever it was I said. Bib, thoughts?
What makes them think that going from a website that it was a good website, to be fair, they've done quite well in building it and showcasing the plates off in a 3D printed model, what it looks like. That's really good. What makes them think that going over to a crowdfunding source is going to get them away from the issues that they've had recently? Like, it's genuinely not. You're literally just changing where you're going to be promoting them. The thing that made me laugh the most was that they were going to create a petition to lobby Sony to authorize us to make the plates. Okay.
I think you'll find that I know you don't want me to do this thing that will help your business, but what if I get a few people to ask you? I'm still going to say no. It's my business.
All they're going to do is, with this petition, is show how many people, how demand these products are, and then Sony are going to go, oh well, we already had this in our back pocket. However, bring production forward, Tommy, and just start rolling their own out and just eclipse what they're trying to do. Like, all they're going to do is just show that they've run a poll to have people say, yes, I really want one of these. Sony have gone, actually, 10,000 people want these, so let's get the production rolling. I don't get it. It's a very, very good idea, and it's that they will eventually just go on and make their own, because there will be places like AliExpress, or I don't want to. DHgate probably isn't going to have stuff like this, but the third-party websites that manufacture and create, which is another one.
I hugely expect DHgate to get this. You go on DHgate. I went on and typed in PUBG. And the amount of like knockoff PUBG merch and like PUBG mobile controllers and things like that you can get on there is a bajillion. So I fully expect this sort of thing to be on DHgate. Just before we jump on,
it's not going to stop them. Sony's stopping one company now. Yeah.
Mr. T says so. what do you think the Xbox box would have to say about the numbers, Graham? Big numbers. That's what I was chuckling at a second ago. I read it just after I'd say all of the boxing and the place fates and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, one of the comments in the article further down is you can't stop this from happening. If I say this is a PS5 faceplate, or this will go on your console, or whatever, you can't do that. Sony can come for it. If I just say print a sheet plastic, and that's it, and you choose to then go and put that onto your console, there is nothing legally to stop that. If it infringes on a set copyright, if they've copyrighted those specific dimensions, and I change the shape of it slightly, I'm just saying print a sheet plastic. I mean, if you clip it onto your console, that's your choice. It's in the same sort of way as option files on PES. If PES makes their own option files for you to download and put Man City on PES, yeah, that's them doing something for the specific reason of not paying for the license. If someone in the community goes, oh, I've made this thing that I wanted to do, and if you want to put it on your console and play with it, that's entirely your decision, but I'm not making you not paying for it or whatever, then fine, yeah, whatever. There's legal loopholes to get through, and if one company does it loud, then Sony's going to take them down. If a load of companies do it at the same time quietly and don't mention PS5 and don't mention PlayStation 5 and be super in the face of the company, if loads of little companies just crack on with it, there's not much that Sony can do about that. So it will happen. They will come out. But yeah, I fully agree. If Sony didn't realise that they had a market for this, we all called it about 4 weeks ago. If Sony didn't realise they had a market for this, they absolutely do now. So expect these things to be coming, 100%. And that, as I said previously as well, I'll bring the article back on screen. You can see, obviously, we've got the camo, blue, red, white, black versions of the console, or grey. Sony made a lot of money and sold a lot of consoles on the back of special editions. Just selling the faceplates, I don't think will replace that. So in here, you've got this sort of like black central column, which is the main body of the PS5 as opposed to the plates that stick to it. I think the colour of that changing is how Sony will still continue to sell special editions of consoles, but I would not be surprised if they don't just go, okay, well, we can make an absolute shed load of cash selling these faceplates here. So yeah, I fully agree.
Well, even before these came about, the PlayStation guys, I imagine the PlayStation guys would have been getting inspiration from like the Miles Morales ones that we'd seen knocking about on social media way back when. So. Yeah, from when the console got confirmed at the state of play. I imagine that they probably would have got the fucking hell. I've literally just said the word inspiration from those posts. So. Yeah, the PlayStation will already be manufacturing these. It's just as and when they're going to start releasing them. It wouldn't surprise me if it was just before Christmas in time for launch. I mean, they still need to try and get more consoles out in the wild before they start to.
Hey, do you know that console that you've not got? Make it look nice.
They've done it with a controller, so it's not as if it's stupid, is it?
I mean, the amount of meme potential though. You'll just see loads of people just sticking them outside of the routers and stuff like that. There we go. It's fine. It's the new PS5. Oh, awkward. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see them going into it. I'm not sure how well they'll get away with it. I mean, crowdfunding, I don't know about the legalities of this. Does crowdfunding change things? The fact that it's something that is publicly sourced, as opposed to one company making it. I mean, if they're still making a profit off it, is it not still the same idea in theory if there's legal proceedings? If someone else was to go out and make some sort of like custom casing for the consoles, fair enough. But there's also the legality of the faceplates aren't necessarily part of the casing; they're part of the console. So it's not like buying a new like iPhone case. It's part of the phone itself. So is that allowed? That said, you used to be able to do that with Nokia's. A Nokia 3330 or 3310 or whatever used to have a case. The plates, the covers and stuff was part of the actual phone. So you take those off and sell those, and those were still happening far and wide. A lot of them licensed, a lot of them unlicensed. So. It's a very easy to it's a market that's very easy to set up for manufacturers. It's a market that's very profitable for manufacturers, and it's a market that's very difficult for Sony to stamp on. Sony could cash in by making plates and making very good quality ones and selling them for the 30 quid benchmark, whereas you can buy your knockoff ones for $9.99 or whatever. Sony will still make a shitload by selling a bit of plastic for 30 quid. So they will jump in, and they will still happen. I'm not sure if customisemyplates.com will ever get away with it, because they are forever tainted by what they've done already. Scrolling back up. Beans, good morning. Hey, he says he's bought the PS6 off of DHgate. Nice. Just don't plug it in anywhere that has any form of flammables nearby, because Wish.com are already selling cheap Place Fate knockoffs. Double living time for the PS6. Hey, Catalonia DeLorean. Sure, but fill up before you get mad. To quote Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. Pretty much. Sounds like a company made a site knowing the outcome of free PR but had no money for actual startup, hence crowdfunding as a known company. I mean, that is kind of it. I mean, they did say that they'd already put money into development, but yeah, I can't imagine they've got a shitload of revenue. That said, they've put money into the website. They've done a decent enough job of getting the name out there already. And if they'd put any R&D into it, I mean, on these digital mock-ups are pretty easy to put together. You don't need 3D design tools for that. You could just do that with a good enough designer, but 3D design tools will help. So that's not too bad. So a little bit of time for web development. If they can't do it, a couple of £100 or whatever could get someone to put that together. So yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe they haven't put any money into it and realised, shit, we need to do this. Maybe taking the pre-orders for the faceplates was enough to give them the revenue to get going. All of which have now been refunded. So now it's a business that has no cash flow, potentially. Surely they should have called the site pimpmyps5.com.
Yeah, you need to get that domain bought right now.
Just clicked on it, just to see what happens. Nothing. Close. On a URL owned by a Mr. Tassim and the... Oh, nice, interesting. Just saying. West, thank you very much for the host. Thank you. Ooh, lights off, lights on. There we go.
Sorry I'm late. Absolutely horrendous.
It's despicable. Absolutely despicable.
46 minutes in. Well, about half an hour into the show, but this is an absolute joke.
I mean, why do we even bother?
I've seen some shit in my time.
Where's the Tash, baby?
Very good point. Yeah, it had to go. It had to go. I survived overnight and a couple of hours before then. But yeah, it had to go, unfortunately.
How very dare you. Yeah. Jumping back up through the chat, I mean, it was mentioned, we're going to move ahead. So the Xbox Series X and S are the fastest Xbox consoles ever in the UK. Custom PS5 faceplates, I nearly said place fates again. My God, it's another one. Place fates. No, faceplates. So custom PS5 plate. Oh my God, faceplates might be back. Yeah. But one thing that is back is COD. We've already been speaking about it in the chat. Precision has been playing it. But if you are getting a PS5 this week, you might want to look at what version of COD you are playing. And the same with other games as well. As this article written by Wesley Yin-Poole for Eurogamer says that PS5 users may be playing the PS4 version of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War by mistake. Tagline: firing blanks. So PlayStation 5 users may be playing the PS4 version of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War by mistake. If you buy the cross-gen bundle or the Ultimate Edition of Treyarch's and Raven's first-person shooter, you get the PS4 version and the PS5 version. After you buy the game from the PlayStation Store, you're able to pick and choose which parts of Black Ops Cold War to download. I went straight for the PS5 version when prompted. Here's where some players are getting caught off. If you hit download all, and you'd be forgiven for doing that if you just wanted all the modes available, you download the PS5 and the PS4 version of the game. And after that's done, it appears the PS5 may default to the PS4 version when you hit the play button. To play the PS5 version, you need to hit the three dots icon next to the play button and change your selection to the PS5 version. This briefly refreshes the user interface, and from there, hitting play will boot the PS5 version. There are some reports that this situation is throwing up an additional problem for PS5 users. While you're able to delete the PS4 version from your PS5 if you don't want to play that version, and why would you if you've got a PS5, it seems there is some sort of download queue bug preventing people from downloading the PS5 version if they have the PS version only installed on their PS5. Reports indicate a factory reset sorts this out, but it's certainly not an ideal situation. The situation with Black Ops Cold War suggests the PS5 user interface could probably do a better job of highlighting exactly which version of the game you're playing, particularly if you have more than one available. The PS5 has faster load times. The PS5 version has faster load times as you'd expect. DualSense tech support and runs at 120 FPS. If you're playing the PS4 version, you're missing out on all of that. So, if you have a PS5 inbound, en route, ready to drop at your house on Thursday this weekend, you fancy playing some Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, make sure you check what version you're going to be playing on, because you could be playing the PS4 version. Thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I think this is going to be the start of this problem. It's clearly a user interface problem in my eyes for not showing you which ones you're playing before you install it. Like, obviously, you will have to install this game first before you can't just play the game. It's not installed on your console.
Time to play the game.
Yeah. So I think they need to do a better job of showing which ones you're going to be downloading. I mean, that drop down arrow. I don't know if you can see the images if you've not accepted the cookies, but I think it's the third image. It shows you the PS5, PS4. That's great. I hope that comes up with every single game that you're going to be trying to play. I don't know whether or not that's come up because they've clicked the 3 dots. So you get to choose which one you want to download rather than the button saying download and it automatically downloads one of the 3 that's available there. But yeah, I think the UI needs to do a better job of showing you, like when you click download it, this should pop up as which one do you want to download, PS4 or PS5, rather than it automatically doing it for you, or you need to go around another way to try and download it. I hope I've tried to explain that a little bit because I was confusing myself as I was saying it, so I hope that's coming across well. But yeah, when you click download, it should pop up to say which one do you want to download, because it does that with some games now on the PlayStation. If there's a PlayStation Plus game, and it's obviously the free one of this month, if you click download, it usually will show you 2 or 3 options, like the PlayStation Plus one, or do you want to buy it? It's like, why would you want to do that if you're getting it for free? So hopefully this will be a thing. When you press download, it gives you the options which one you want to download. If you've got a PS4 and you're trying to download the PS5 one, it either shouldn't be there or stop you straight away. So you think, okay, I've clicked the wrong one. I'll do the PS5 one now, 4 one.
Yeah, I mean this is the next gen in a nutshell. we all sit there and we all think, do you know what, next gen? Oh, it's going to be bigger. It's going to be faster. It's going to be more visual stuff. All the pixels and the loading But what the next gen always comes with is that version 1.0, which any software that's version 1.0, it's not going to be perfect. Maybe there is something out there, but usually it's the 1.0.7 or 1.1. Whatever, that suddenly, actually, do you know what, that's a bit more substantial. I mean, I don't know if consoles sometimes don't launch with 1.0. Maybe they've already done incremental updates before launch, but the bit I'm trying to get at is, numbers aside, the first releases of an OS miss things or haven't learned or they evolve over time. So this is the next generation. This is the things that we always forget about the next generation. And you see it in video games as well. I mean, stick with a game that we've already mentioned, PES. You move to a new engine, you lose a lot of the legacy stuff. There could be tiny little things that were just really, really good. I remember losing the opportunity to jump down menus. Like, you used to be able to go down, or you press left and right and you jump down by 10 on menus. And that went missing for a couple of games on an engine switch, a generation switch, that sort of thing. Player faces and things within games all disappear. It's the same sort of thing with an OS. Little things that are either legacy that didn't realise were important, or little things that are actually new that come from a new system. You don't realise they're in there, and it's pretty simplistic but pretty consequential. Having the option to download. I mean, I'm that kind of person that when I get a bundle, and a bundle is like one game bundle as opposed to multiple games. So you've got the COD bundle. Do you want to download it all? Of course I want to download it all. I've just paid for it. Yeah, give me all the things. I wouldn't look at that. I'd be thinking it's like the new COD avatar, the new COD PlayStation theme, the new COD game, and the multiplayer and single player versions separately or whatever. Yeah, okay, give me all of that. I wouldn't even twig that my PS5 would then go, do you want the PS4 as well? Yeah, nice. We'll get all of them. I wouldn't be surprised to have Sony have an option that says download PS5 by default, or have download PS5 only, or have PS5 unless there is not one, then PS4. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to get those options in future updates, but for now, make sure you have a look at what version of games that you're downloading, because not only could you be downloading them both, I mean, as that mentioned, you could be downloading the PS4 and the PS5 version onto your console. Not only would you be playing the PS4 version by default, potentially, but if you're in an area where you've got data caps, or you've got an area that's got just shit download speeds, that's an extra, I mean, that's Call of Duty full game, so that's an extra 72 million gig that you could be downloading there. So, I mean, at least 50 gig, I expect, on top to download the PS4 version. Maybe 100 gig, I don't know what we're looking at. So that's a huge chunk of your hard drive, which isn't, your SSD, which isn't monumental to begin with. So, yeah, just have a look. It's easy to fix. It's also easy to not notice, so it's good that we know already. I mean, this is the good side of America getting the consoles last week and Europe waiting to this week. You guys do all the downloading with your data caps. Ha ha! We don't have data caps, but we'll just take them anyway. Nice. So yeah, make sure you check that out. Oh, I actually quite like that one. I've never even thought of that. Gary, Call of Duty Black Oops, Cold War. Oh, so simplistic. That is genius. I actually really like that one.
Nice work. Nice work. Why is nobody that's definitely like a Wesley Yin-Poole kind of tagline. I'm surprised I haven't gone with something like
that. Wes says, I'm de-stressing after a horrific trip to Tesco's. # live the dream. What were we going for? Was it the big shop or anything specific? We need details. If it's just eggs, then I hope you've got ketchup on those bad boys. Mr. T says, guess Cold War has had a frosty reception then. Hey, not cool. Hey. Do you know what? I've seen opposite. All I've seen is people raving about it. So that's the developer, just in case. No. Okay, move on. He's still going. Agree, Madge. That said, some people should just chill out and cut Sony some early slack. But was the chill out? Was that? Oh, not well thought out. That system. Hey. Folks need to freeze their expectations for the time being. Yeah, no need to raise your temperature over it. Okay, I don't know whether we're still talking about Cold War or just my PlayStation in general, because it does that. It does that. That's a massive scoop taken out of your internal memory. Hey! Weekly shop including 15 eggs of mixed sizes. I hope we've got an ostrich one in there. These puns are sending shivers down my spine. Hey! Okay, we'll stop. Just a reminder, though, that we are getting PS5s in this week. Both myself and Baby should, touch wood, be receiving PS5s on Thursday. So we'll probably have some form of showing you the box, maybe some form of potential attempts at unboxing, and then some forms of just ignoring them until Friday because of all the updates that need to be run, and we'll just play games on PS4 like everyone else does. Yeah, nice. Whatever happens, we will do whatever it is. But one game that we definitely won't be playing, though, is Call of Duty Cold War. The PS4 version anyway. We potentially, I don't know, maybe playing the PS5. We'll see what happens.
So on Thursday then.
Mm-hmm.
When does your post usually come?
About
again, it's going to.
Yeah, it's about 10 a.m. ish, but it's going to be separate. I mean, mine. My email from Games said it was going via Royal Mail.
Oh God.
So
no.
Mine's not arriving. Mine's just going to be stolen by the. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking, because Asim's just actually put live unboxing, please. That's kind of. I have no idea on Thursday what time mine will come, because my post doesn't usually come until like 1 p.m.
Mine usually gets here around between 10 and 11 for post, but packages and deliveries can be any time of day, especially with these as well. If they are put on for Royal Mail, I don't know whether that was just an automated email from Game, But if they are Royal Mail, it won't be with your postman. It'll be a post van. I usually have a postman with a bag. There's no way he's walking around with a bag full of PS5s. just like one of those guys that drives in a circus on a little scooter with like 20 people stacked up on him, just walking down the road.
Oh god.
So if it is Royal Mail, it'll be a van. But I do know that Royal Mail do kind of like subcontract other firms, so they may get DPD or whoever to come and pick those stuff up anyway. So even if it is sent by Royal Mail, it might not actually reach you via Royal Mail. It still might go via another party anyway. The postman isn't getting that through the letterbox.
He's breaking my faceplates.
It's alright, you can get your own and customise my plates. Oh, actually, no.
Shall we do like a Thursday stream? I know we will be doing it in the afternoon anyway, but it's going to take like forever for that console to download whatever it needs to do.
Yeah, of course we can play PUBG. I mean, I just want to say one thing as well. We had a lockdown week of playing PUBG last week. We tweeted it the week before. We played PUBG every day on stream that we usually stream last week. Obviously, Tuesday was a non-stream day. And by the end of last week, Summit, 1G, and Shroud were back onto PUBG. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. So, who influences the influencers? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, absolutely. Some form of unboxings I'm completely on board for. I mean, we'll start off with Spider-Man, yay! There will be some form of ripping apart the studio as well to get like new audio splitters and bits in place so headsets work and whatever. But yeah, I'm completely on board for that. And then depending on what games and things we get and how long it takes to do the updates, we could jump on with some PS5 gameplay. Yeah.
You see, that's a good thing about it coming on Thursday, because Thursday kind of is like, we have stuff scheduled in, which is usually PUBG, but it's stuff that it's not like Masters of the League, which we absolutely have on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's nice that we can maybe a bit more flexible.
What about PUBG is more important?
Astrobot.
Okay, so tune in for the PUBG streams on Thursdays. We're playing the next generation. Nice. Speaking of next generation games, let's move into the next story. We will have some PS5 stuff, by the way, on Thursday. If you want to know what it is, we don't really know yet, so we will see how long the updates and things take. But do tune in on Thursday, as we will do some forms of unboxings. We may have to start off, say, at Casadella Bib if he gets his first and watch his unboxing live, and then whilst he does the updates, we'll jump off and come back to Casadella Day, and then we can see me unbox, and then hopefully we don't have the flip reversal of. Did you see that the guy? Last week, it was one of the Kind of Funny Best Friends people. He ordered a digital edition of his PS5. He got his box, which was the white box or the black box, whichever the digital one is. Pulled the sleeve out, and inside it was the disc drive version of it, of the console. So he got a digital. He paid for a digital, but got the £100 one more expensive version. Hopefully, we don't get the flip reversal and pay for the disc drive and just get the digital editions. I mean, I'm saying that. Hopefully, they turn up first. Let's start off with that one. Let's go with that one.
Samantha was saying this last night. She went, "Is there a chance that it could come the day before?" And I went, "Probably not." She said, "Is there a chance that it'll come the day after?" I went, "Absolutely." Like, I don't know who it is that's going to be delivering it, but there is every single chance that this will come the day after.
I mean,
I'll be fucking livid.
There is small chances that it could come the day before. There is small chances. Not very likely, but there is small chances. Day after.
Happen with the Xbox?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on schedules, postal delivery schedules. Like, if they get them in early enough, Royal Mail might just be a case of, we don't have enough floor space, we have to send some out today, boom, boom, boom. As long as it's delivered by X date, then that's fine. That said, doesn't necessarily mean it will be delivered by X date. There's more likely that it will come on Friday, or Monday the week after, or 2021 or whatever. We will see. Anyway, next bit of news. Resident Evil 3. Babe, have you ever heard of Resident Evil?
Yes.
Okay, well, Resident Evil 3 running on PS5 used the DualSense light bar to show Jill's health. Did you know that?
I did.
Well, this is written by Don Peppiatt for VG247 because I didn't know, so let's find out. He says, anyone that boots up Resident Evil 3 Remake on the PS5 will find a little extra detail communicated to them via Sony's new DualSense pad. Thanks to a tweet from Dreamcast Guy, sorry, you're playing on the wrong console, mate, on Twitter. It's been revealed that the light bar on the DualSense pad will act as a sort of health gauge. Health gauge Jill Valentine? Does it mean for Jill Valentine? Okay. The pad will communicate Jill's health as green for good, yellow for hurt, or red for critical. So basically, when I play Resident Evil 3 on my PS5, it's always going to be red because that's the permanent state that I'm in. And you can see it all via a quick glimpse down at the DualSense in your hands. So we do have an embedded tweet. I will read it, but it's probably going to end up in the article a little bit later on. Dreamcast Guy says, found a nice little element today to Resident Evil 3 on PS5. Your controller turns more bloody with the lights as you get hurt and goes back to green as you heal. 3 images there. So the first one green, then yellowy orange, then red. So players that picked up the game on PS4 may remember that the DualShock 4 pad had a similar function, but because of the more obscured lights on most PS4 pads, you couldn't really see it as clearly. Sure, the newer DualShock 4 pads have a front-facing light bar at the very top of the touchpad, but it's still quite a small and hard-to-see element of the hardware design. It's nice that little features like this are more obvious for players taking the time to play older games on the new Sony tech. Then it adds a sense of discovery to the older titles and adds incentive to go back to your pile of shame, or mountain in my case, and play through games which you may not have completed. Resident Evil 3 is available on consoles. Fine, let's just leave that out. I don't need to go through on what it is available. Resident Evil 3, PS5, DualSense, light bar, bib. Thoughts?
Yeah, this is so cool. I want to say the older games like the original Resident Evil 2 and 3, if they was to ever get reported back over again, this would be absolutely amazing because there was nothing worse than deciding whether or not you was in caution or in danger. So this is just like an immediate, because in the older games you'd kind of slump when you get hurt, you'd kind of slump over and slow down. When you're in serious danger, you'd be like just walking on one leg, like there's just no speed and your character. But you couldn't. It was a very fine line between caution and danger. So there might be limping, but it's actually in danger. Yeah, it was a whole thing. But this showing you straight away what kind of health that you're in. That's just a nice little. You wasn't expecting it, but it's a nice little touch. But it just shows. I sent you a video last night, and you replied 20 minutes skull emoji.
Yeah, 20-minute video. I was like, nope. I'm not watching that.
But like those videos that people have had, that was from Beat 'em Up Woods. I don't know if anyone subscribes to them. I mean, I subscribe to Dreamcast Guy as well on YouTube, so it was nice to see that he's getting featured in articles like this. He's been going forever, so it's nice to see that he's starting to get some props with things like this. But that video that I sent you, that was breaking down what the PlayStation 5 was like. It's like Woods was mentioning that he'd seen everything about haptic feedback on the controllers and what the DualSense was like, and he'd literally just written it off because it was the same shit. You want to feel the pressure of a bow and arrow? These haptic feedback.
I need to stop you for a second. Something about bow and arrows with the controller. Has this been mentioned before?
It just said like I kind of written it all off until I got hold of the controller myself and I was playing it, and it's just he's not a console gamer, but playing on the PlayStation 5 is just the best experience he's had in a home console, away from the likes of obviously your handhelds, hybrids like the Switch, because he's a Switch guy. But playing these and just having different things that you wasn't expecting with the control, even though they talked about them, you think it's just buzzwords because that's what this period of time in video games is. It's just buzzwords and marketing tools to try and get these consoles from their warehouse into your house. So he just written everything off until he started playing it, and then more things started to become available, like there's old DS games where you have to like blow into the microphone on your controller for them to be able to do stuff. Like he said he had to do that with Astrobot. Like there's just different ways that you can use the controller that hasn't been seen before in this well, obviously this generation is brand new, but just in terms of home consoles, these little things are starting to come about now. That's just making the experience different from what you'd expect, and that's why I love this period of next gen consoles, because there will be things coming out from both consoles that you think that is amazing. Are they going to copy that in the next firmware? You know what I mean?
See, I do like this. My issue with DualSense, and this is the bit that when I was, if you didn't tune in, not last week, the week before, we had articles talking about the DualSense 5 and how the haptic stuff is really good. It's a lot of the comments are saying the DualSense controller is pretty much the only next gen thing we've had really so far. Obviously the games look better and obviously they load faster and things like that, and that is the next gen, but you kind of take that a little bit for granted. The next gen needs to be something different, not marginally better, not an incremental upgrade. And the DualSense 5, a lot of reviews, obviously not speaking from my own experience, hopefully it will be on Thursday. A lot of the reviews have said that the DualSense 5 is the hype. Like the hype is real. It's not just like, oh look, marketing words. It's like a sports game. You buy a sports game, you buy the next year's sports game, and it's pretty much the same game, but there is like constant touch or like impact precision passing or something like that, and it's like, so it's the same passing really, but you've tweaked it a little bit, so it's an incremental upgrade, but you've made it sound like something different. And whilst the incremental upgrades are good and they do add value and they are really good, you kind of want something that feels like the next gen, and that's the only thing that I've seen by more than one person that said this is the next gen. Obviously, it's not actually, because a lot of people have said the Quick Resume, is that the name of it, on Xbox, is next gen, which I completely understand with that. That would be class. If you play multiple games and just going, okay, I'm on PUBG, Baby's just asked me to jump into Fortnite, let me just close my application on PUBG, let me load up Fortnite, which takes 65 hours to get into a game on my PS4, play a couple of games with Babe, oh shit, I need to go out, okay, I'm going to close Fortnite and open up PUBG, which takes 65 hours to get into a game. That's suddenly, I've saved myself like 130 hours there, jobs are good and nice, so that is really good. But the DualSense controllers, I like the fact that we are seeing little things. I mean, the lights and stuff, that's nothing new. We spoke about like the light bar on a DS4 for GTA being like the police, sort of like woo, 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 sort of stuff. Sirens and flashing lights, boos and twos, and that kind of thing. Okay, that's pretty cool. But now seeing, there was something I didn't read, but I saw the headline last week that Black Ops Cold War is now being tweaked to feature DualSense stuff too. I don't know if anyone has seen that or if anyone has the input on that, but I'm fairly sure Black Ops Cold War will now start using the haptic triggers for Call of Duty. If they don't already, they will be doing it soon, which that for me is the big thing. If you're starting to see Capcom aware of what the DualSense 5 can do, you're starting to see Activision or Raven Software or Treyarch or whoever it is aware of what the DS5 can do. It's nice to see them starting to use that, because the issue that you have is you can't really make something for one console that doesn't exist on the other. You absolutely can, but from a development process, it's more resources to make something that just works on the PS5 that isn't on the Xbox Series X. And it's also unfair on your audience. You start to create a divide in your audience then. If you make something that one section of the audience can benefit from, but the others can't, you start to create different pools. And something like Fortnite, for example, wants everyone to be on the same playing field as much as possible. But you also don't want to neglect things. So that was kind of my worry, is the Xbox doesn't have haptic feedback on its triggers on the controllers. Will that be something that gets dropped? So if Resident Evil is starting... if Resident Evil uses it and Capcom are aware of it, and Acti and Cord are starting to use it, maybe it's something that does build as time goes forward. So exciting. Let's have a look. Hey Crocodile, good morning. Buying those Xbox Series X. Oh, I did see Wes saying something about he'd bought a PS4. There we go. I'm feeling dirty. Just bought a PS4 for my youngest for Christmas. Welcome to the dark side, or the blue side. Welcome in. We can do some PlayStation to PlayStation crossplay now. Yeah.
Generations, you'll be on the 5 by then.
Yeah. We can use smoke grenades. Yay! Or at least I can. You might not be able to. We'll see. Gary says mine is DPD. Ooh, well, that's a good one. Do you know what we should have, like, while we're in the scoop on Thursday, we kind of need to get Craig to make us a graphic so we can do like a leaderboard, like a race. Oh, Gary's just got up, and whoever gets theirs first wins. Hey! Like what you go to the fairground and you get those like little horses that are running across the screen, like whoever gets to the end first wins. The prize is you get your PlayStation. There you go. I hope you've got widescreen cameras to get them fully in shot. I'll talk about the PS5s. Will it fit through the front door? Don't know. Just replied to ICU with an amazing tweet. You're welcome. Oh, really? Let's have a look. Okay, let me load this up. Mr. T says, Bibby, when the chat and I are dropping puns. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Look at his face. I ain't got time for this shit. Oh, amazing, amazing. You are
Bibby the bully victim.
be bullied. Okay, let's scroll down through chat before we jump into the final article then. You were out, so we left it with a neighbour. No, as people lose their PS5s.
That happened to Manny, that.
Yeah,
That happened to Manny with his Xbox.
It wasn't even like they left it with his neighbour as such. They just said it was like handed to resident. That's what he bought one for his brother, and it just said handed to resident. It's like I'm the resident, and it was never handed to me. So someone else has nabbed his PS5. Fuckers. Let's hope Hermes aren't delivering a PS5. So they'll probably be chucked in the bin. Was it a Hermes delivery van? There was a thing the other day of like some dude just kind of like full on launching parcels into the back of a truck. It's like clearly had just been an argument with his missus on the phone or something, and he was just lobbing parcels into the back. So, I mean, to be fair, no one's going to be throwing a PS5 like that because you need, unless you're Arnie from the Predator movies, you're not picking that thing up and throwing that. It'd be like watching, like, what those muscle man contests kind of thing where they're lifting up like their big round balls and things. If you can throw a PS5 like that, then fine, you can do you. Mine is definitely DPD. My boy Hussam, legend. I saw that. I saw your pictures the other day. You're live tweeting the delivery. It was beautiful. It's beautiful. Wes says, "What's Bibby on about?" No idea, mate. No idea.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I just made egg on toast. I mean, this Lithram person's still here. Don't know who that one is. Is that? I don't know. But
That's my brother.
no, it's not. No, it's not. No.
Is it?
No, I
No.
don't think so. No.
No, I don't have one.
Graham with his mountain of hype. Yeah, just he keeps increasing his size. Any ketchup on that? Max says, absolutely. Where's West's response then? Did he respond? He just didn't bother.
Hey, morning, Spike. It is still morning, isn't it? Yeah, it is still morning.
I remember the DS game was 18 plus, if I remember. The DS game?
I think that's what I was talking about, blowing into the mic.
Ah, yeah. Oh, I.
Filth.
What kind of games are you guys playing? Viv, Bib, honestly.
Did anyone blow their cartridge? I don't know.
Sounds like you did. Anyway, yeah, Realist United, good morning. Hey, welcome in. Ian as well, good morning. For me, if they then linked PS4 health, like the controller, to lights behind the TV, imagine the back of the TV glowing your health. I mean,
That'd be cool.
yeah, like Philips Hue sort of like sync sort of stuff. Yeah, just imagine that though. I mean, imagine if you're fucking playing GTA and your whole room's like, whoa, ah, the police are on top of me. Yeah, okay. Viv's got a good idea. We're gonna do a viewer PS5 track and trace race. Whoever wins the race gets their PS5. Nice. Whoever comes last has to give their PS5 away. What do you reckon, Mr. T, Gary? You guys in? We in?
We're in.
Gary says you break your spine if you did that with PS5s. Imagine some guy just lobbing parcels into the back of a truck, picks up a PS5, and you just hear an audible like, nope. I had someone, Yodel, deliver a 1K PC to a resident. They then delivered it a day later when I complained and provided footage. So in terms of they didn't deliver it, or they gave it to someone else. I don't. What do you mean? World's Strongest Man. There we go. That's what it's called. Cheers, babe. Yeah, they kept it. Fuckers. As if they did. Anyway, we'll put a pin in that. One final thing. Not so much next gen, but it probably will be. Let's finish with a little bit of the rumour mill. That sounds good to me. As THQ Nordic is reportedly teasing a TimeSplitters 2 remake. This is written by Andy Robinson at VGC. I will put a pin in it for just a second. I have never played TimeSplitters. I have never played TimeSplitters 2. I see an absolute shitload of like. There's a few games that I always reference, like Simpsons Hit and Run and things like that. And Tony Hawk's, obviously, that's now been done. But TimeSplitters is one of those games that people always ask to be remade. Does that resonate with you all, babe?
Yes, I have a copy of it somewhere on this shelf, which I will go digging for. But yes, I do have a copy of it. It was a game that me and my sister played the living shit out of. Amazing game. I would love to see a remaster of it. I mean, it's definitely one of them games that gets asked for all the time. But we've seen what's happened with 13 recently when they remade that, and the graphics, like it was made to look like a comic book originally, and they have absolutely battered it. So hopefully this, if they do remake it, it isn't going to be similar to this.
13. That's the one that looks that there was the bit that I saw was it looked like a comic book style originally. It now looks more like Fortnite style.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, TimeSplitters 2 is potentially being remade. I'll jump back into the article. Andy Robinson at VGC says, recent RTS said to include an in-game item stating that a remake is finally coming. So a remake of the classic PS2 shooter TimeSplitters 2 is reportedly being teased in a new THQ Nordic RTS title. Spellforce 3 Fallen God, released for PC last week, and players have since discovered that several in-game items can be acquired which refer to upcoming and released THQ Nordic titles. The items include Biomutant, Gothic Remake, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottoms Remaster, and TimeSplitters 2 Remake. As captured by a YouTube user, thanks to VGC reader Matt Ombler for the tip, the item's description reads, translated from French, "It's finally coming, the iconic shooter which has stood the test of time to join the era of modern games." TimeSplitters owner THQ indicated last year that it was planning a future installment in the series with the hiring of original co-director Steve Ellis to help plot the future course for the franchise. However, it did not state whether its plans included remasters of the original games. The Spellforce teaser could yet turn out to be a practical joke on behalf of its developer, but VGC has requested comment from THQ Nordic to hear its official stance. 3 titles in the TimeSplitters franchise released for PS2, Xbox, and GameCube in the early 2000s before developer Free Radical was acquired by German developer Crytek, where it was renamed Crytek UK and eventually sold on to Koch Media. Koch and its Deep Silver publishing label were acquired by THQ Nordic in February 2018, and the group purchased the TimeSplitters property in August of the same year, along with another Free Radical developed title, Second Sight. We are hugely excited to have acquired TimeSplitters, Koch Media CEO Clemens Kondratit said at the time. The original games gave fans a massive content offer and provided a pure and genuinely fun arcade shooter experience. We have many fans of the TimeSplitters series amongst our own staff who are passionate about creating a product that will thrill today's gaming audience. TimeSplitters co-director Steve Ellis later told VGC he had unfinished with the FPS series and that the chance to revive it was hard to ignore. Personally, I always saw TimeSplitters as unfinished business, he said. It was a series that was ahead of its time from the days when shooters were all brown and games weren't online. It feels like its time has now come, so the opportunity to work on it was hard to ignore. Series composer Graham Norgate told VGC in a separate comment, "I'm really happy it's finally got off the ground 14 years since the last release. Let's hope Steve decides to get the old band back together." Thoughts, Bib?
Yes, I don't know which way they'd probably do this, like which way around. If you was to bring out a new TimeSplitters game, when I say new, do you bring out the remake first or TimeSplitters 4 after, or vice versa?
I would say the remake first, and the reasoning for that is it's one that the old fans can jump on and get a bit of hype for. You can use that to test the waters, because obviously you've got all of your script written out, you've got your direction in terms of your levels, and the whole storyline is written out. You don't have to put as much time into that. You can still put a shitload of resources and time into that. I mean, Mr. T, he's still in the chat as well. Mr. T could tell you about remakes. Obviously, Mafia have just killed it with the Mafia remake. That will have been a huge amount of time and resources put into it, but not as much as making a game that looks that good, that isn't scripted, that doesn't have characters, that didn't have voice artists already in place, or stuff to give you direction from. So I would say TimeSplitters 2 remake, easier to put out, and then from that point you can gauge how big you go into TimeSplitters 3. Was there a 3? I'm assuming there wasn't 3.
There was a 3.
There was.
I'm sure okay. There was a 3.
No idea. Robert Daniel says never played it.
Okay. It's used the same. Sorry.
I just said Robert Daniel says never played it, so I'm in the same wavelength.
Oh yeah, it was called Future Perfect. That's why. TimeSplitters Future Perfect was the third one. But anyway, I think the reason why people love these games so much is because it uses the same engine as Perfect Dark and GoldenEye. So if you was a big GoldenEye fan way back in the day, this was pretty much just like a 2.0 version. So all the things that they'd probably learned throughout GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. I mean, Perfect Dark obviously got a remake on the, or a clone, or a port, or a remaster, whatever you want to call it, onto the 360
Is that
Xbox Arcade.
Perfect Dark Zero?
Yeah, yeah. So
And
you can.
isn't there another Perfect Dark game coming as well? I think there's like a new one coming. I can't remember. I was fairly sure, unless it was something that was rumored. I know that we've spoken about it in the last 6 months. Whilst you're googling, I can see you typing away. Good morning, Spike. No baby shout out, but I've only just got to that comment on my side. So hey, I had Yodel leave my graphics card in a shed. Not my shed, the one down the street that wasn't even my address. He even sent me a picture. What the fuck? Hey, here's your parcel. It's just next to a motorway. I'm not telling you which one. It's just next to a motorway. Great, nice. Gary says TimeSplitters was an effing classic. Asim says it's a multiplayer classic. Would actually really do well now, given what type of game it is. West says 8 was great. Do you mean 13? Lithram says I thought I'd waste my sprinkles. Well, thank you for asking the question. I mean, feel free to ask a question. You can ask one anyway, but there you go. Realist United says never heard of it. Hair Crocodile says an original German RPG, real difficult. I 100% heard crotch media. Well, maybe it was. It's the. For us it's Koch, but I think the official German pronunciation is Koch. So it's not far away as well. So there you go.
Yeah.
I heard that company has real balls, says Mr. T. It's death packing. Gonna be totally honest, remakes will never live up to the memories, says Daniel. I agree. I imagine that I will when I finally play it, and I will play it at some point. When I play Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, I imagine I'm going to really enjoy it. I don't imagine it will have the same magic as the first time round. So yeah, I could imagine the same with this. But then again, this isn't going to resonate for me because it didn't the first time. Anyway, did you get anywhere with the googling?
Yeah, I think it was just a rumor. The only one I could found. The only one that I could find, not found. Is there going to be another Perfect Dark game? And this was back in March, and I think we actually covered something along the lines of this as well.
Yeah, was it. We were talking about Fable as well, or something at the same sort of time. I think it was like Xbox conversation or something. I can't quite remember, but yeah. Jumping back through the chat then, so we'll wrap things up. Depends on the quality and scope of the remake, says Asim. I could name a few that have nailed it. Shadow of the Colossus being one. Demon's Souls, which will be out on PS5, going by reviews. Daniel says, of course, but in that respect, everything is determined by the quality and scope. West says, sorry, 13, multitasking. I'll let you off. It's fine. What I'm failing to convey is that I believe that a lot of our love for older games comes from memories of enjoying those games. Unless remakes can evoke those feelings again, I fear that I will always be disappointed by them. Do you know what? I agree with that. I think remakes have more scope for failure, but they also have the potential for greater success. It's difficult to make a remake or build on something that is already close to your heart. But if you can build it, the ceiling is much higher. But it's much harder to get there. In my sort of opinion, it's always harder. Like you watch a sequel of a film. How many sequels have you gone in and just been? I mean, I absolutely adored the first one. The second one, not so much. I mean, example for me that is that it's not a video game but a film. Transformers was based off of my love of Transformers as a child. Most people didn't like Transformers film or were indifferent to it. I absolutely adored the first Transformers film. The other films that followed it, progressively worse. And so you can absolutely kill it by bringing something back, but yeah, you also have the potential to make it shit his pants. Asim says, yeah, of course. Was more addressing your point that they don't live up to memories. I disagree and say many do have. Resident Evil Remake would be another one. Nailed it for me. Give all the good memories / nostalgia and added something new modern. Sure, I can see why you would feel differently. It's subjective opinion after all, for sure. Look at that. Differing opinions that didn't turn into a fight. Wow.
No way. Doesn't exist.
I know. This is the internet. Wow. Oh, for sure. Transformers. I mean, I love the first Transformers film. By the way, if you've got surround sound, put that Attack on Socks and Airbase on full blast. Do yourself a favour. Just sit in the middle of the room and enjoy. Anyway, enough nerding. We will do a lot of that for the rest of the week. Oh shit! I'm supposed to insult someone based on their personal preferences. Internet rules. I mean, you start off by going after their personal preferences, and then if you could just go into personal attacks, that's usually the line. Oh shit! There we go. There we go. No, stop. No. Thank you everyone for joining in for the stream, as well as the little bit of banter throughout. Wait, I mean insult here. insult here even. Thank you very much. I mean, not so much to ask him because the puns today. Just. I'm gonna give you the cold shoulder. Okay, I apologise. Thank you everyone for joining us for the first episode of The Scoop this week. We will have another 4 episodes because we come back each and every single weekday. Tomorrow will just be a Scoop day because Tuesdays is a non-extra stream day, unless we do something in the evenings. But The Scoop at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll have Masters of the League. Right now, though, we're going to go offline, get set, get green screened up, and come back with the first episode of Masters of the League for well over a week. Nice. So if you want to see how ICU FC are doing in Season 4 of Masters of the League, then stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Before we do all of that, though, Bib, is there anything you'd like to throw in? Anything you'd like to add?
Let's see if I can get this right. It's been a while, but yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching today. If you do have any video game news knocking around the social media platform of your choice, I'm nailing it so far, then do feel free to get in contact with you. Find us on all our social media. Spoiler alert, it's Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms. You can also find us in our Discord on the left. Discord? On the Discord on the left-hand side.
It was doing so well.
Nearly. I was doing so well. On the Discord on the left-hand side, all you need to do is just drop in the URL and the name of the article. Your thoughts and impressions. We'll add our thoughts and impressions to the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
It'll be at 10 a.m.
Ish.
For some reason, the discard link's not working in chat. I've typed it with and without capitals. Exclamation mark discard. It's not working. It's not working. Banter. Discord, by the way. There you go. There's the link. Wes says all the links. Yeah. So the joys of chatbot. Just don't try and make it say discard. I might add a discard command just because. But anyway, that's the kind of thing I do. Thank you everyone for joining us once again. A lot of people in here, a lot of opinions. Do remember that obviously the PS5 comes out on Thursday. So we will do some content depending on when they arrive. We can't really plan exactly what because we don't know when they're going to get here. But whenever they arrive, we'll do some content on Thursday around the PS5's landing. So if you guys get yours as well, feel free to share any pictures of them. Join us in the stream, join us in Discord, on social media, wherever you want. You can spam us with all of the content. Someone discarded their spelling ability. I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, nice. Thank you for joining us. We will be back in 15 with Masters of the League. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic day and stay frosty.
Okay.